Let's talk about Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. For hundreds of years, the Smoky Mountain region and Greater Appalachia have suffered when it comes to education. Most counties are too focused on filling the local church's coffers rather than providing sufficient educational funding for public schools. While this is, and probably always will be, a tragedy, one woman fought against that reality, the Queen herself, Dolly Parton. For locals of the Smoky Mountain region, Dolly stands for everything good and moral in this world. She's been a beacon of hope for a place that normally has none. Even after she made a name for herself, she never stopped giving back to the people in her home county. This spirit culminated with the founding of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Long forgotten by the politicians and their fellow humans, the children of the Smoky Mountains had a chance. They had a chance to break out of their high-risk poverty environments through reading. Those thoughts, lost to textbooks, had a fighting chance of gaining knowledge they would otherwise never have access to. Starting in Sevier County, Tennessee in 1995, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has since grown to become an international program in the US, UK, Canada, Ireland, and even Australia. The Imagination Library sends over 1 million books per month to high-risk children across the world free of cost. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library mails one appropriate children's book to all children within the program every month free of charge. Parents are encouraged to read to and with their children, as well as work to encourage them to read outside the program. The process starts with a local affiliate willing to do what it takes to bring the library to the children in that area. These affiliates can be businesses, school districts, general organizations, or any individual willing to make the commitment. These local affiliates promote the program online and offline at events throughout the region. Then, they sign up children ages 5 or below to the library's database. The final piece of the puzzle for affiliates is to secure funding for the wholesale of the books to the locality. You can visit the U.S. Imagination Library site to become an affiliate. Once the funds and the registrations have been filed into the system, the Imagination Library takes over. They cover any extra overhead and expenses and begin sending off the monthly book donations to registered children. Dolly Parton grew up a poor and humble child of the Smoky Mountains. She founded the Imagination Library as a tribute to her father, who, despite being an intelligent man, could never read. Dolly once said, "He was the smartest man I have ever known, but I know in my heart his inability to read probably kept him from fulfilling all of his dreams." Sevier County, Tennessee, Dolly's home county, became the first test of the library in 1995. Only 5 years later, in 2000, there was a massive want and need for the program to go national. In only 8 years' time, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library had mailed over 1 million books to children, and it was a massive success. In 2004, the state of Tennessee provided statewide coverage of the library, and a couple years later, the first international library program began in Canada. Today, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has active programs in the US, UK, Canada, Ireland, and Australia. Over the years, Dolly's efforts have been recognized across the world. Specifically, she has received a multitude of awards from all over, including the Library of Congress. Her greatest milestones, however, are the continued additions to the library, such as Native American communities, audio, and Braille book versions. In 2020, the 150 millionth book was mailed. The Imagination Library is a testament to the dedication and perseverance of both Dolly and the children she serves. In a letter about the library, she is quoted as saying, "The first step is always the hardest, but you'll never know until you try." A wise phrase to live by, no doubt. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has changed the lives of many children and families. Of this, I am certain. The program not only works to encourage children to read, but doubles as a way for adults with literacy issues to work to resolve them in a low-pressure environment. Dolly believed if she could provide access to the children, then she could encourage the parents to not only be a part of their child's education, but perhaps improve their own. While children enjoy reading books, the simple fact that they receive a piece of mail officially addressed to them personally with a book inside gives them the incentive to look forward to the books every month. This way, they will have a positive outlook on reading in the future. In addition to the anecdotal evidence of success, there have been local studies done that prove a positive correlation between the Imagination Library and increased literary and phonetic understanding for kids up to kindergarten age. Specifically, a 2014-2015 study done by the Picard Center of the University of Louisiana Lafayette found positive evidence for the implementation of the library in their local parishes. According to this study, evidence suggests that participants of the Imagination Library are 16% more likely to meet literacy benchmarks than those not enrolled. Also, the study reports that 99% of parents are satisfied with the library, and the majority of parents included in the study read to their children multiple times per week. What began as a simple idea from Dolly Parton has transformed into a massive international effort to help underprivileged children have access to books. Millions upon millions of children and their families have had the opportunity to elevate their educational and literary abilities. Without this program, there would be even more children behind their peers due to outside factors such as a lack of access or poverty. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library represents a workable model for other organizations to build off of and perhaps implement programs of their own. Even though we should be forcing politicians to allocate more money to underserved communities and schools, for now, we have to rely on the good hearts of people. Dolly Parton, the Queen of East Tennessee, is one of those good-hearted Smoky Mountaineers who we can safely say has the interest of the people in mind. May the region continue to be blessed by its guardian angel.